guys, and welcome to the 6th of our daily devotionals. I hope you're all doing okay out there. Today we're looking at Easter Saturday, the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and this is probably going to be quite a short one because there's not a lot that happens in the Bible story, but I think it's actually a day that is a good time to dwell on. So the only gospel accounts we have of the Saturday are of the high priests going to Pilate and asking for a guard to be posted at Jesus' tomb. The fear seems to be that his followers will steal the body and claim that he's been raised from the dead. The guard was placed, and that's kind of it for that day in the Bible. But actually, despite the little focus it gets, Saturday is one of the most intriguing days, I think, in the whole of Holy Week. And part of the reason I sort of became fascinated by it is from a book different from the one I've been referencing most of the time. This book is Who Is This Man by John Ortberg. It's a fantastic book looking at kind of the impact Jesus has had. And at the end he takes us through the Easter story. And I'm just going to read a very short passage of it to explain why I think Holy Saturday is so incredible. So far as we know, there has only been one day in the last 2,000 years when literally not one person in the world believed that Jesus was alive. And that's true. Actually, since Jesus' birth, people have believed he's alive every single day except for Holy Saturday, because that's the one day when it wasn't true. And that, for me, becomes even more poignant when we realise that for his disciples, this was the day after. They won't have slept for 2 days, basically. The night between Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, they were out praying in the middle of in the garden. Late at night when Jesus is arrested, they scatter. We know Peter goes to the high priest's house and follows Jesus where he denies them. And you just get a sense of events are going on, and then suddenly, as Jesus dies, they stop. And I think that is a good metaphor often for where we live a lot of the time. We often don't know the end of the story. We don't know the Easter day in a lot of situations. We don't know if things will get better. And sometimes they don't get better. But we can't know ahead of time. So while we look back at Easter and the Easter story, knowing that tomorrow we're going to be celebrating because Jesus is alive, I actually think it's a time to remember the Saturday, the hardest day for those disciples. And there's another quote from John Ortberg I want to use that describes what Saturday is. Saturday is the day your dream died. You have to go on, but you don't know how. Worse, you don't know why. This year Easter's taken on a special sort of significance for me particularly. Some of you may be aware my dad is currently in intensive care in hospital in the UK, and the last few days the news has just been getting worse and worse. His oxygen levels are falling, and I've really found it difficult thinking about Easter and the hope of Easter while I'm also watching and hearing from afar news that my dad is very ill and may not make it, and I still don't know. He's doing a little better today, but the fact is that right now I don't know the story. I don't know if this is a story that ends with healing or not. And so that's perhaps why I want to talk about Holy Saturday, because that emptiness, that feeling of I don't know how to go on, but I have to, that's for me right now what I'm experiencing. And I hope that you out there aren't going through that this Easter, but we are all facing unprecedented times. We're facing this coronavirus pandemic, which has shut down life as we know it. Many of us do have loved ones who are ill. some seriously, some less so. Some of us may even have lost people already. And all I can say is it's Saturday. It's the day before, and the thing that Jesus promises is not that Saturday will never come, that we won't have this hard waiting time where everything is crushed within us, but that Sunday will come eventually. That at the end of the day, no matter what happens, whether my father is healed or if he goes home, as horrible as that genuinely is for me to talk about, he will see eternal life because of Jesus, because of Easter. And we know that Sunday is coming. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk about Easter Sunday. Thanks.